church was built during the Second Empire and reflects the Catholic revival of the time, adopting a monumental neo-Gothic style. It replaced, in the 1860s, a church from the 1820s, which itself had taken the place of an even older structure. We know that by the late 14th century a church stood on what is now Rue de Lattre. Was it the only church at the time? Most likely. It's also quite probable that the current church was built on the site of a former seigneurial chapel, once reserved for the lords of the chateau. This shift in location may have followed the wars of religion, which likely led to the ruin of the original church on Rue de Lattre. All of this reminds us that even villages that seem timeless have undergone many transformations. Interestingly, the 18th century Compois mentions a chapel dedicated to Saint Lawrence near Rue de Lattre, right where the Hostellerie du Castellas now stands. The decision to relocate the church near the chateau may reflect the nobility's renewed control over religious life in the context of the Catholic response to the rise of Protestantism. If you look closely at the current church, you'll notice something unusual. It isn't oriented to the east. Traditionally, up until the 17th century, Catholic sanctuaries were required to face the Orient. But by 1860, architectural norms had changed. Originally, the church would have opened toward the Chateau Square, the village's historic centre, but by the late 19th century, it faces a newer square that emerged in the 1780s after the cemetery was moved outside the village. Symbolically, this shift marks a turning point. The church no longer turns toward the nobility, but opens itself to the people, especially to their leading figure at the time, Maître Gaillard, the dominant personality of the village.